This story is about Renuka Sherpa, as we will call her to protect her identity. She is a rape and trafficking survivor and now a first-year law student. Renuka had a happy childhood growing up in Nepal, together with her baby brother, father, and mother until she was about 8 years old. Her little brother became very ill and eventually died. He was just 1 year old. Her parents couldn't handle the grief. Her mother was inconsolable and couldn't stop crying. Her father left one day and never came back. Her mother had to go out to work, saying she could get a job in the entertainment industry. But at that time, Renuka had no idea what that meant. Her mother was scared to leave her home alone for fear something would happen to her. She would go to her mother's restaurant after school and hang out until she was finished for the day. Renuka didn't like it there at all, but had nowhere else to go. They often wouldn't get home until late in the evening, and her mother was drinking more and more. Her mother was no longer caring for her properly, and Renuka became very withdrawn and lonely. One day when Renuka was 11 years old, she was raped by a client. When she came to, everything in her body hurt and she could barely walk. She got home by herself and cried for days, telling no one, not even her mother. She didn't have anyone to confide in. She didn't go to school for a while after she was raped. She was afraid of the man that had raped her and afraid of all the men and boys in the street. Renuka became withdrawn and depressed. She felt guilty. She saw every single man as a potential rapist. She wanted to run away from home, but she had nowhere to go. Had no family, no friends, no one. She didn't go to the restaurant with her mother anymore. She had discovered what really was there. It was a place where men went to have sex, but sometimes she had to go to get something to eat. The cupboards were bare at home. Then her mother became ill and had to go to the hospital. Renuka was only 14 years old, and all responsibility fell on her young shoulders. She needed money to buy the food and pay the doctors, but where could she get money? She hadn't had any contact with her father since he left, and her mother's income stopped because she could no longer work. Renuka heard about a dance bar that was looking for girls. She loved dancing. When she danced, she forgot about all her worries. She was thinking it'd be a perfect way to earn money. The reality turned out to be completely different, though. As well as dancing, Renuka also had to have sex with the clients, whether she wanted to or not. Her boss simply forced her to have sex with clients, or he got her and the other girls drunk so they wouldn't resist too much. Sometimes she was so dazed she hardly knew what was happening. She was physically and emotionally numb, living in a haze. For almost 2 years, Renuka worked at the dance bar and was sexually exploited. In the meantime, her mother recovered and took up her old job again. She was often getting drunk and she felt depressed. Renuka began to realize over time that she had fallen into the same trap as her mother and that there's no safety net to catch her. Renuka no longer wanted to do this, and she didn't want her mother to have to either. Then one day, a girl that Renuka knew told her about a shelter called Free a Girl. She gathered her courage one day and left the bar and went to the shelter. That was the start of a brand new life for Renuka. She was given advice, therapy, and medical help. People paid attention to her and looked after her. She started going to school again and was doing a work placement program at the police station as a paralegal. Every day she felt more self-confident and started believing in herself again. Renuka left her old life behind and started looking forward to the future again. She plans to keep studying and get a good education so she can be independent and have a better life. She wants the same thing for her mother. That's why she's studying law, to become a lawyer. Renuka wants to fight for others, for justice, and the rule of law. Renuka hasn't taken legal action against her boss. Not yet, she said. The past is still very painful for her. It will take some time. But the criminals who traffic minor girls and force them into prostitution must be punished. That's what she's fighting for. That's her goal. Renuka states that she will seize the opportunity with both hands. As a lawyer, she'll focus on making young girls aware and informing them about human trafficking to prevent them from being exploited. She also wants to help survivors build a future and, above all else, motivate them to be stronger so they're able to bring charges against their perpetrators. If you or someone you know is being forced to work in the sex industry or work for free, please contact the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888 or text BEFREE, BEFREE, to 23373.